Apparently, a group of Fighters Guild soldiers got ambushed and taken to a prison. Lies, lies.
Thank you for heeding my call, newcomer. I don't suppose your passage to Somerset brought you past Weston Coraldale? My father, Curteros, runs a boat in an angler fleet. They're long overdue, and while his stride tends to be a leisurely one, I've never seen the whole fleet gone for so long. I'm probably over-concerned. The weather's been fair and the wind's mild. Perhaps their fishing has been so fruitful they dare not waste their good fortune. But I'd feel better if I knew what to make of their delay. The fleet set off west. Weston Coraldale is an island engulfed by coral reefs, but you can reach it safely in that sailboat. I'd go with you, but I'm afraid I don't share my father's comfort with open water. Not especially. I've never been myself, but Father's only remarked about the occasional ornery coral crab or hungry salamander. The reefs are the only real hazard, but only to a ship of considerable size and flimsy make. Oh, there's not much to tell. He's plied the sea for its bounty for as long as I can recall, and that's some time, mind you. We eat well, and he makes a fair bit of coin with his best catches, but sometimes I wish he'd keep a bit more lively. Not since I was very young. My father took me fishing once, showed me how to bait a hook, coax a bite and work the line until the catch tires out. It wasn't meant to be an eventful trip, but it turned out that way. Father dozed off, so I continued to apply what I'd learnt without him. Soon enough, I'd hooked my first catch. Or rather, it hooked me. Yanked me clear off the boat and into the deep. I was too shocked to let go of the rod, nearly drowned. Yes, fished me out of the drink, quite literally. He still calls me his prized catch. It's funnier when you're not coughing up seawater.
Well, ma? Never seen you before? Guess no one told you that this is my spot. Been my spot nearly a century. And it'll be my spot a century more, God's willing. So don't go getting any ideas. Plenty of space down the coast. So, off with you now. Ha! Fancy that. I told Hiranessa for years those sea elves would mount an invasion from Waston Coraldale. Figures they'd launch it while I was having a nap. Well, come along then. Best send them off before they hook all the best catches. Of course. Any Royal Marine of the Queen's Navy worth their salt would. Might have traded my saber for a fishing rod, but I've still got my sea legs, and I'm still as sharp as the day I mustered. The others I sail with are civilians, though. Aye. Even if they caught a glimpse of a sea elf cutter before it reached Waston Coraldale, there's no chance a fishing boat would have outrun it. If anyone from the fleet's still alive out there, it's our duty to help them. Lest we split up. Unless my creaking knees give me away, I ought to be able to handle some scouting while you're searching for survivors. We'll rendezvous at the old lover's tree near the reef on the eastern shore. My friends will know the one. Unless I'm caught. Won't be much use to the sea elves as a prisoner, but I'll black an eye or two before I greet my maker. Tell her my children are grown and my wants are few. But I cannot say the same for my friends. I've had a good life. I don't mind trading what's left of it, so others might have the same. 3 aside from myself, Imdolina, Aldoterel, and Carterel. Not much of a fleet when you compare it to the Royal Armada, but we're the scourge of anything with guilds. Hope you find them safe and sound. Too quiet. If one of them had reached the mainland, the Royal Navy would have sent ships to intercept these sea elves by now. No one knows they're here except us. Enemy movement. Numbers, positions, assess our situation. I hope to have a plan by the time you've finished your search.
Sacred ascendants, take me home. I thought you were a sea elf. One moment I was just dipping my toes in the shallows having a pleasant day. The next there's a murderous corsair or hungry reef viper around every corner. We're trapped. He's alive. At his age, I'd have thought he'd be the first to fall prey to those sea elves. Should have given the stubborn old salt more credit. I'll make my way to him. Better than waiting to die out here. Thank you.
Stranger, don't anger the salamanders. They're the only thing keeping those sea elves from wandering too close. What are you doing out here? I've never seen you before. You're sure we're talking about the same Kurtaros? The one I know is more likely to be mistaken for dead and sleep right through this whole mess.
All this crouching is damnation on my back. But I've seen everything I need to know what the enemy's up to. How fares the search? Any sign of Carterel? Never do when it comes to these sea elves. They'll rob us of more than a few good souls before all is said and done here. They're digging in, placing ballistae along the shore. When the Royal Navy finally does mount an attack, they'll be taking fire from Maormer on both land and sea. It'll be a bloodbath, unless some misfortune befalls their plans. Catch my drift? I'm not suggesting we repel the whole invasion, but I do know my way around a ballista. If we turn one toward their own ships and cause enough of a stir, we can draw on a friendly patrol and catch the sea elves out of their element. I'll get into position and await your attack. Then we'll give those sea snakes a good spearing while these two make for your vessel. You do have a vessel, don't you? All right. You two go prepare the boat our friend brought. We'll provide a distraction. Trinamac's wrath be with us. Hold them off while I spear that cutter. They're scattering like minnows! Keep on the offensive! They didn't call me the scourge of the sea drakes for nothing! I'm hurt! That'll do. Fall back and get to the boat. coming aboard. Boats prepped and ready.
Father! You have me so worried. What happened? Where's your boat?
None of that now, my nervous cup. I'll tell you all about it. But first, there's one more thing we need to see to. Come, friends.
He washes up here after being...
Memories to the drink.
He washes up here after being gone for weeks, his boat nowhere in sight, and he acts like it's just another day on the sea. Was everything all right? Did he cause you any trouble? Oh, he put you up to that, didn't he? Papa always loves to embellish his journeys. Whatever the truth is, I'm just glad you brought him home safe. If all newcomers are so kind, Somerset will be fortunate to have you. He's not fooling me. I can tell something happened. Father's putting on a brave face, like he used to whenever I'd ask him about his younger days. He'd smile and deflect the question, but I could see a sadness in his eyes he couldn't hide. His secret. The fanciful story of meeting my mother, a myth about how the moon and stars winked on the day of my birth, and tall tales about his fishing voyages. Before that, not a word. Not once. I don't think I'll ever get the truth out of him. You're serious? So what you said about the sea elves attacking, it was all true? What's he hiding? Was he a pirate? I always wondered if he didn't talk about it because he was ashamed. Why would he hide that? I'm sorry, I have so many questions and it's not you who has the answers. I'll leave my father to the company of his friends for now, but when he's ready to come home, he can't leave his other life behind this time. He and his mates have a tradition of celebrating their safe return. They're partial to a small batch brewer on the south side of Alinor, by the craft masons. They'll probably be there all night. Oh yes, she and Carterell have been together for years. She used to look after me when I was younger, while Father and the others were off at sea. She's a good friend. I imagine she'll be with Father and the others, waiting to see Carterell when she arrives.
prices can't be beat.
You there! I must say, I've just had the most dreadful day. First, my betrothed runs off with some wood elf, and then she manages to get kidnapped by werewolves. At this rate, my reputation may never recover. To think Nirelyn would put me in such a position. In all honesty, I'd rather leave her in this cave. She's certainly earned such a fate. But if word got out that I left her to die, or if she managed to escape and actually marry that wood elf, suffice to say, I simply can't just leave her. Certainly not risk my life, if that's what you're implying. You know, you have the look of a ruffian. Want to take on the task? If you collect Nirelyn, or at least what's left of her, I'll make sure you're paid handsomely. Excellent. Once you've finished, meet me near the Mages Guild in Shimmerine. Of course, discretion is key here. I want no word getting out about this little incident, not even to common folk. Rumors do tend to spread, after all. Do you know how long this marriage arrangement has been underway? Decades. Decades worth of work. All gone if Nirelyn smears her name through wood elf muck. Why, I'd rather suffer 1,000 cuts than such a wound to my reputation. Oh, well, of course you wouldn't know, given your race. High elves take marriage most seriously. A matchmaker must be contacted to research the couple's star charts, pedigree documents, that sort of thing. It's a lengthy process. Excuse me? Well, sorry that we don't take marriage as a fast and loose affair. Marriage, as in all things, must be as impeccable as possible. Family, physicality, all those things must be taken into account. Otherwise, it's just chaos. Disorder. I feel as though I told you plenty, haven't I? It's a private matter. If she's alive, just remind her of her obligations. We can still make this little fling disappear, even after this mess. Naturally, pending death, there's no honorable way to cancel now. It's best just to be discreet. After all, I can't have everyone knowing my betrothed ran off with someone of another race. Ah, no offense meant, of course.
Didn't you all hear me? I want to... Wait. You're not one of the pack. Oh, you're not even a werewolf. You need to leave now. It's far too dangerous here. They've already killed Brengus, and it's too late for me. Estidel. I thought I heard him whimpering earlier. I told you, it's already too late. I've been turned. There's no place in Somerset society for a werewolf. I'm doomed to live out the rest of my cursed existence as an outcast. What other choice do I have? I was miserable with Estidel, and I thought Brengus was my one chance to escape, to leave that life behind. He was going to protect me, and in the end, he couldn't even protect himself. No, I can't live like this, serving the very beasts who took everything away from me. Just end it. Please. I'd rather die than be miserable. You can take my signet ring. That will prove to Estidel that you found my corpse. Well, I have always been good at controlling myself. I had to be. But still, where would I be going back to? Estidel? A loveless marriage with a mer I hate? I don't know if I could stand that. You know, you're right. Ever since I was turned, I feel stronger, bolder. I don't need to marry Estidel if I don't want to. And I certainly don't have to live in the woods to make that choice. I'll end it, one way or another.
There you are. Quickly, over here. Well, were you able to find Nirelin? Or at least, whatever those werewolves left of her? I see. Well, at least I won't have to begin my marriage negotiations anew. As long as Nirelin's willing to put this incident behind her, all will be well. Here's your payment for a task well completed and your discretion on the matter.
I've returned, Estadelle, and I've reflected on my actions.
I suppose nearly getting yourself killed will do that. I'm just glad you finally came to your senses.
Yes, of course. Dearest, tell me. Our wedding day, weren't we told the moons would be full?
Why, yes. A most auspicious sign, the priests told us.
Oh, yes. Most auspicious indeed. I very much look forward to it.
What? Are you here to kill me? Might as well. There's no honor left for me now. Not after I decided to send my squad off to certain death. I failed them as their captain. I failed all of Somerset. Justicia Avanaire. She struck me down, ran off to this ruin. I was able to follow her this far. The rest of my squad went in after her, but I fear the worst. With that pearl, who knows what she's capable of? The item we were ordered to transport. It's tied to the Yagra, mysterious creatures that keep attacking our shores. We have no idea what devastation the pearl's capable of, but we can't allow it to be used to dark ends. It must be destroyed. You must move quickly. The pearl is with Justicia Avanaire, somewhere in Torheim Card. Once you find it, destroy the cursed thing. Even if you have to go through Avanaire to do it. I'm sorry, but that information is sensitive to the Aldmeri Dominion. Just know that she's not a soldier to take lightly. Use all due precaution when you meet with her. Power? Ambition? A new accessory? I have no idea what she plans to do, but it's something important enough to forever sully her name. There will be no honor for her after this disgrace. She'll be forever shamed, marked in history as a traitor. Compared to the pain of disgrace, hardly noticeable. Avanaire got the drop on me, but I was able to step back in time. It's not mortal, but I can't fight. May that Sleck thank her ancestors that she won't have to face me in battle. It has the power to summon Yagra, hideous creatures that seem to have crawled out from the depths of the sea, as deadly as they are mysterious.
We were transporting the pearl to the Sapiox for research purposes. The situation has changed. I'm in no state to get this pearl to Lilandril, and who knows what evil could befall Somerset if it fell into the wrong hands. I'm making the call. In this contingency, destroying the pearl is the only safe option.
failed you, little sister.
I need healing!
So, you returned to me alone. The pearl. Is it destroyed? I knew I was sending them to their deaths, but still, I couldn't let Avanaire get away. If not for you, the surrounding towns would have been overrun with Yagra. You saved many today, even if some were lost. Here, take this for your service. Don't worry about me. I may not be fit enough to fight, but I can still walk. I'll head to the closest town and make my report. Just need a moment to catch my breath first. Venom words dripped from the tongue of a traitor. Tell me, did you learn anything useful? Something I should add to my report? Do you expect my heart to bleed at such a story? Avanaire has betrayed her family tenfold by besmirching their name. She betrayed her queen, her nation, her comrades. My soldiers, good soldiers, were killed. For what? An addict's debt? And so she weighed the life of one greater than the deaths of many. I doubt this sentimental tidbit will change anything. Her name shall never be honored by her descendants. She'll be an outcast even in death, the greatest dishonor.
I shouldn't have let her go in. Idiot. The Thieves Guild sent you. Wouldn't go any deeper if I were you. Darkness crawls along the walls of Etanir. Only thing you'll find here is an ugly death. That, and the corpse of my former apprentice, most likely. No idea. Erothal asked to take the lead, and I obligingly took a nap. Didn't think it would be any trouble, even for a lackwit like her. Sneak past some cultists, grab the tokens, get out clean. Easy. But now, the place is swarming with Daedra. Well, she's certainly missing, and I'm not risking my scaly hide going in to find her. You look scrappy enough. If you can grab those tokens and what's left of my apprentice, I'll make it worth your while. What do you say? I suppose I could answer some questions, long as they're quick. I don't suspect Erothal will make it out alive, but there's no use prolonging the news. What? Are you the kind of sap who sheds a tear for every idiot lost on a job? Huh? If you were so worried, what are you standing around here for? Go in and find her. Maybe she's still alive. Most likely not, but there's still a chance. Not by choice. The guild shoved her in my lap and told me to start training. So far, all she's been good for is buzzing in my ear like some kind of meerkat. Besides, I'm paying you to look for her, aren't I? Good enough. No idea. A cult of Meridia doesn't usually make a big splash, but here in Somerset, well, they don't look kindly on Daedric cults, even the nice ones. Not surprised someone wanted them gone. Well, no matter to me, long as I get those tokens. Not entirely sure, truth be told. All I know is they're worth something to someone. Why that is, well, it's not my job to ask questions, long as I get paid.
Finally free! Oh, sorry. No time to chat. I have to get back to Seeks. He must be worried sick.
I see that Errolthal made it back in one piece. Thank the Hist. The guild might have docked my pay if she wound up dead. More importantly, did you find the tokens of Boridia in there? Good. I'll get these tokens back to the Thieves Guild. Honestly, this is one of the smoother operations I've been a part of. Sad as that is. Maybe one day we'll do another job together. Not likely, but maybe.
Can we get moving now? I'm just itching to get to our next assignment.
The itching's probably just a symptom of the venom. Next, your flesh will start to rot off. Seen it happen 1,000,000 times.
Seeks, you're hilarious! I just can't get enough of your jokes. My skin's going to rot off. Oh What will you come up with next?
So, standing around is a crime in Somerset?
Ah, a wanderer. Just the person I... Hi, hello. It's such a relief to see a friendly face out here. I haven't had anyone to talk to in... ooh, I don't know, hours? You wouldn't happen to be an experienced adventurer, would you? Me too. Well, usually I only write about them, but I decided to finally try my hand at the real thing, so here I am, in Goblin territory, taking record of the grand battles between the High Elves and the Goblins with my scribe. Or, I was. The Goblins, dragged her off. Along with all my notes, too. I've been reciting every tale I know for inspiration on a valorous rescue, but I find them sorely lacking in the specifics. Please help me. I'm lost without Naliara and my notes. I didn't see where they went while I was fleeing, but I have very keen ears, and I distinctly heard Naliara's screams over the pounding of my own heart. They were echoing out of the mouth of a nearby cave through King's Haven Pass. You must not frequent Daggerfall, friend. I am Medze the Maestro, King of Singers, Serenader of Kings. I've performed songs of Sentinel at court thrice now, and I'm soon to be an honored guest performer at the Illumination Academy. Well, there's a story there. You see, in light of the Queen's decree, the Illumination Academy has been inviting guest performers from all across Tamriel for their latest conclave. And, of course, I received an invitation, so I hopped on the first boat. I was getting to that. The subject of my recital is a fresh epic of their ancient conflict with the goblins of these hills. I didn't want to just regurgitate tired verse to the world's premier scholars. I need real inspiration to impress that crowd. All the stories of Somerset describe it as an idyllic place of wonder and beauty. I'll admit it's been a much less comfortable trek than I anticipated when we struck out. But who could have expected marauding goblins in such civilized lands? Yes, but I didn't expect there to be live goblins. All the histories I've read say they were thoroughly vanquished. But it seems their tribes were not entirely pacified. Quite the oversight, if you ask me.
Keep it down. I don't want you drawing any more this way. I already broke my best quill killing the last one to sniff me out. Oh, please. I'm not some damsel in his sappy songs. I suppose he told you the goblins dragged me here too. Those little jackals stole my pack. I chased them in here to recover it, only to find my notes scattered all over this fetid place. They're the only record of the weeks of research Medze and I conducted. We'd have to start all over without them. And if you were faced with the prospect of being Medze's scribe for another 3 weeks, you'd risk life and limb too. What are you? Some sort of saint sent to deliver me from digging through Meluk's squalor? Well, 2 searchers are better than 1. Meet me back here when you've found something. The man is like a newborn infant, completely incapable of caring for himself. Nearly walks off sheer cliffs for the view, alerts every monster in these hills with his crooning, samples poisonous flora because it looks pretty. His popularity was on the rise, and the trip to Somerset as an honored guest sounded like a good opportunity to break out from copying account ledgers. How wrong I was. I don't know how much longer I can hide out. That's the last of them. I'm not going to give you some my savior routine, but thanks. This is not how I plan to die. Do me one last favor. It's a small one. Would you deliver those papers to Medze and tell him I quit? Look, I've had enough of Medze. The humming, the whistling, the constant attempts at rhyming. I'm not completely heartless. That's everything I cataloged on this misbegotten adventure. With it, he can finish his research.
Naliara, stay strong. Your salvation is at hand. Though, if you could call out, that would be helpful.
He's coming. I'm gone.
I finally girded myself with the courage of my forefathers. I'm prepared to add my deeds to theirs, even if it means entering oblivion itself. I will find Naliara. You, haven't seen her, have you? Naliara quit? I suppose I cannot fault her. Capture by vile goblins was simply too much for her delicate spirit. But without her records of my spontaneous, inspired verse, my... I finally... Naliara quit? Oh, well, that's great. I nearly have everything I need to complete my epic of the war fought between the goblins and high elves here. All that's left is for me to uncover the site of their most pivotal battle. Come, let's make history! I mean, I just assumed since Naliara entrusted you with her notes, you were taking over her duties. You don't want to uncover a once-in-a-lifetime discovery? I have a generous stipend from the Illumination Academy to complete my work. The site is close. I just know it. Dramatic instinct. My antiquated directions said the entrance would be where two falls meet stone. Sounds more like an uncomfortable pratfall than landmark, but my guess is the site is near water. The answers must lie in these ruins. Oh, Naliara, if only you'd... Some kind of trade ledger? Oh, how mundane. It seems like the elves who built this place engaged in deals with... goblins. That can't be right, can it? This looks like scouting reports. Land surveys, goblin settlements... Why was the water source of such interest to them? These look like plans for resettlement. Elven and goblin. They were proposing a land trade with the tribes. It seems the offer was refused. Oh gods, this is terrible! This adventure truly is a tragedy. I can't use any of this. These tablets show the goblins weren't always viciously territorial. Elves and goblins coexisted, traded, until the elves wanted King's Haven Pass badly enough to betray that trust. It flies in the face of every existing account of this region. I sought a subject for heroic composition. There is no truthful recounting of this history that would flatter the elves. Sing the truth, and my patrons will loathe me. Sing a lie, and my artistic integrity dies. It's what a noble hero would do, isn't it? Self-sacrifice for the sake of the downtrodden is practically obligatory. If I don't make it back to Daggerfall, carry on my tale. Don't let my beautiful voice be silenced. You've been an able guide to heroism, keeping me on the righteous road in the face of adversity. When I sing of the divine messenger who sent me on this path, know that it's your praises I sing. Oh, I like that. The time has come for me to unsheath the quill of justice and cut an inky swath through centuries of lies. And probably book passage back to Daggerfall well in advance. Even if I'm not bludgeoned off stage by thick volumes, I'm told the Divine Prosecution is very particular about the verbiage used to present the truth. I'd prefer to receive their critiques by mail.
Oh, there you are. The relic master. You know, I didn't think to ask. Maybe it has to do with the missing relics. Yes, that sounds about right. Well, yes, but the relic master didn't seem too upset by the whole ordeal. He probably already saw how we were going to get them back. Maybe you have something to do with that? Just go ahead into the college ruins over there. You can't miss him.
What? Oh, thank Malakath. I thought you were the Relic Master. I'm not sure what brings you down here, but you couldn't have come at a better time. As you can see, I'm a little impaired. Exploring. Our betters don't like to talk about it. When they do, they call it Trader's Vault. According to my research, it used to serve as a retreat for the Order's most talented pupils. But then, without warning, the Rite Master barred it shut. Good question. I found this memory stone in the Grand Reliquary. It's called the Eye of Remembrance. Using it near the library pedestals here might show us why these ruins were sealed. You look stronger than most. How about you lend me a hand? What luck! To find a fellow troublemaker on this stiff-necked isle. There should be pedestals scattered throughout the ruin that will cause the eye to activate. I'll contact you through oral projection to walk you through it. Ulaseta, formerly of Clan Kog. The Sijiks want you to renounce those old affiliations, you see. Don't want that sort of thing to interfere with your dedication to the old ways. Something like 350 years, give or take a decade. I know what you're thinking. She looks sprightly for her age, right? Long life comes with the robes. The Sijiks don't think you can learn much of anything in a normal orc lifetime. Semantics. I'm still an apprentice, you see. I should have earned my gray cloak a century ago, but I'm too much of a gadfly. Rubs our masters the wrong way. I'm what they call an admina, a poor listener. The fact is, I listen better than most. Yes, a whole heap of them. Skeletons mostly. I tried to banish them, but my mastery of restoration falls way short of adequate. Your guess is as good as mine. Like I said, the Rite Master locked everyone out shortly after we went into seclusion. It might have something to do with the Worm King. Manamarco. Rite Master Ikesis threw him out just before the island disappeared. From what I hear, he caused quite an uproar on the mainland. Other than the fancy name, I'm not exactly sure. If you look closely, you'll see it's covered in Aldmeric runes. I tried to translate them, but most of them are time-worn and illegible. The only words I can decipher are travel and memory. Of course, I wouldn't have risked the Sijik's wrath on a hunch. Apparently, the students who studied here used the eye extensively. With any luck, some of the channeling pedestals will still work. Guess we'll just have to see.
How in Sirabane's name did you get the Rite Master to unlock it for you?
He rightly acknowledged our superior skill. It's only natural that he'd let us work here.
Well, it's quite a privilege.
Privilege? It's our right, Valas. You mustn't be so humble all the time.
Not this again. Come, let's explore further.
Secluded? Cavernous? Yes, this will be perfect for my research.
That was Manimarco, and Vana Scalarian, the leader of the Mages Guild. Can you believe this? It must be Manimarco's laboratory.
have you done? This is just... repugnant.
Oh, Vanus. I would have thought you less judgmental. It's just a bit of puppetry. Nothing but arcane lift and spirit handling.
That was a living thing, Manimarco. You're edging close to a dangerous line. Too close.
You sound like the right master. The only lines are those you draw in your mind.
I'm not going to... Please. Just find a new avenue of research, all right?
Oh, Vanus, you fool. You will never understand true power.
I always heard Vanus and Manimarco were friends, but it seems like a complex relationship. Fascinating. Let's see what else we can find.
To our classmates? What is wrong with you?
Wrong? Honestly, grow up, Vanus. There is no right and wrong. Only power and weakness.
You've made me for a fool. I can't believe I didn't see the rot infesting your soul. You will answer for this eventually. I swear it.
And you, my friend, will answer for your short-sightedness when I eclipse you in every way.
I always thought Manamarco was confused, misguided. Seems he knew exactly what he was doing. Amazing.
Didn't you? You were a greater fool than I thought.
You tainted the Thapora Tower. You're worse than a murderer.
Pathetic. You expect Ichesis to find me here? No. Simply banish me from the island.
That won't be enough. You're a beast, Manamarco. A beast that needs to be caged.
Of course you're right. And once I reach the mainland, I'll show the world just how right you are. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a ritual to complete. Now, to my masterwork. If Ichesis does not see the genius of my work, he can rot with the rest of them.
So these are the events that led to Manamarco's exile. Let's keep exploring. Well, I didn't expect that. Meet me outside. We have a lot to talk about. Welcome back, partner! By Malakath, what a discovery! We learned about the history of the Vault, the Worm King's relationship with Vanus Galarian, and you even destroyed one of Manamarco's vile experiments. Not bad for a day's work. Don't turn on me now. The Eye gave us glimpses of Manamarco's work. With time, we might be able to learn more about his process. Know your enemy, right? I hope I can count on you to keep this a secret. Here's a little something for the effort. Let's do this again sometime, huh?
No, you will not be doing anything like this ever again, Uliseta.
Spying on us, huh? Well, I'm sick of you cowards hiding knowledge away and then punishing us for discovering it.
If not for Admana, like you, we wouldn't have to hide things like the eye you stole. Come, Uliseta. Your punishment awaits.
Good. I'm anxious to tell you all exactly what I think of you.
Trade with Khajiit?
Oh, was it today that you would arrive? Well, certainly seems like it. Welcome, welcome. I expected you would come, though perhaps not quite so soon. You're here about the missing relics, of course. Well, yes, why wouldn't I want to talk to you? I've been waiting for your arrival. You see, this happens to be the Vault of Moawita, where the Psijic Order keeps its most cursed relics. It's a tad bit emptier than usual, though. We've had a break-in. Exactly so. And you'll be the one to help us collect them again. Hopefully before anyone comes to harm. Why, these items could cause all sorts of mischief. First, though, let's have you read the Psijic Codex. That should help bring you up to speed. The Psijic Order doesn't interfere with much outside of Artaeum, I'm afraid, and the relics have already found their way to Summerset. The items are hidden, of course, but the Codex should point you in the right direction. I believe they're called Dead Drops, a location where one may place an item for another to pick up without raising suspicion. Our thief has hidden all of the relics for that express purpose. Of course, you'll be the one to pick them up now. All ready to head out then on your big adventure? Ah, sorry about that. Location magic isn't always what one would call precise. I can tell you that all these locations are somewhere within Summerset. That should hopefully narrow your search. Well, they're certainly dangerous. I wouldn't suggest touching any of them directly. Their side effects vary, but none are very pleasant, to say the least. Misery, insanity, incessant lute playing, that sort of thing. It's much worse than it sounds, trust me. If you're still curious, I've collected research about each relic. Just read the scrolls placed before their display case. That should give you a good idea about their abilities. Exactly. You'll just need to find the properly labeled display case in the Vault of Moawita and place the relic within it. That should help safely bind its curse. Well, it looks like you're all set. And here's a little something for your trouble. Now that you're all set for the journey, feel free to ask me any questions you'd like. I've never been one to ignore a healthy curiosity.